Hello and welcome. My name is Carrie, and I am so pleased that you have joined me today. I am going to lead you through a morning yoga flow. We're going to take it nice and slow and easy just to start your day off right. If you wanted to add a little bit of background music, I have a link to a Spotify playlist below. So go right ahead, get yourself into something comfortable, and we'll begin. So, good morning. Sitting up nice and tall. Let's start here. Getting your sits bones rooting down, maybe going from side to side, forward and back, just finding that center ground right in the center so you can feel nice and comfortable. Yeah, you can use a bolster underneath your hips if you'd like, or a pillow. And then take your shoulders up to your ears, taking a breath in and exhale, letting your shoulders roll down your back. Closing your eyes and taking a moment to check in. See what's going on inside of you today, where you might be tight or tense or tired, a little sluggish, whatever it is. Just honoring those parts of you and being gentle as we go through our poses. And then focusing in on your beautiful breath. Breathing in that life force and letting it travel all the way down into your abdomen. Expanding and sinking deeper as you exhale. And then we'll bring our hands together at our heart center, keeping your eyes closed, maybe setting an intention for your practice today. Whatever quality it is that you'd like to bring in, and just setting that now. And then we'll bring the fingers together. We'll send those hands out in front of us, stretching them out. See how your wrists feel. And then maybe taking your hands all the way up and overhead. Breathing in, getting long and tall like a flower. And then as you exhale, let's come over to the right. So keeping your left side nice and heavy. And then back to center and over to the other side. And back to center. Let's release the hands, letting them gently float down towards the floor. Maybe bringing them behind you and maybe grabbing hold of the fists or maybe grabbing hold of the elbows and just pulling the elbows or the fists down so you're expanding your chest. Breathing into that heart space. Maybe lifting your head up towards the ceiling. And then letting your head come back down to center, maybe dropping your chin down towards your chest. And then back up. And if you're holding on to your hands, maybe release and hold on to your elbows, keeping them behind you. We're just going to look over to the right, looking to your right shoulder. And then back to center and over to the left. Back to center. And maybe dropping your chin and doing a nice big circle with your nose. Being gentle with any tender spots. And then taking your nose in the other direction. And coming back to center, let's release the arms, shaking them out, bringing your fingertips down to the mat. We'll lift that left arm up to the ceiling and coming over to our right. Breathing into that space, getting a little deeper into this side bend here. And then bringing your left hand down to the mat, let's cross our hands over, coming to the front of the mat, folding over your hips. And then crossing your hands over to the other side. Let's reach that right arm up and over. Stretching into the right side body. And then coming all the way back up. Fantastic. Let's switch our legs just to see how this side feels as we fold down over the hips. Letting your head hang down, noticing how this side feels for you. And then coming back up, placing your hands on your knees. Let's make a nice big circle. Moving around those hips, the sits bones. And then the other direction. Beautiful. Coming back to center. Let's bring our knees up. We're going to lay all the way down onto the mat. Getting your spine nice and long today. Maybe lift your hips a little bit and then set them back down just so that back can be nicely supported. Letting your shoulders just roll down towards the floor, relaxing them. Letting your knees relax in on each other. We'll just set our hands onto that lower abdomen. Taking a few moments to breathe into your hands. Beautiful. Let's bring the hands back down to the floor and we'll take our right foot up to the ceiling. Let's flex and point our foot. See how these hamstrings are feeling today. Maybe grabbing hold of the back of your leg, maybe up towards your calf. Just keeping it nice and straight. See if you can get a nice deep stretch along the back of your leg. Keeping your heel pushing up and toes pointing down towards your nose. And then we'll release the hands and slowly lower this leg down to the count of 20. So nice and slow. Nice and long, keeping your breath flowing freely and easily. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Letting that heel touch the floor. Let's stretch the left leg out, reaching our arms up and overhead. Nice big full morning stretch. Breathing in that fresh air and letting out any heaviness from your sleep. Then we'll let the arms float back down by our sides. Let's bend both knees and we'll take the left foot to the ceiling, pointing and flexing your foot here. Noticing how this side feels. So yoga is a great way to just be in tune to how your left and right side are maybe a little bit different. And then keeping your heel pushing up, maybe bring your hands to the back of your leg or your knee, or maybe even your calf, keeping that leg straight. Taking a few breaths here. And then we'll bring the hands back down to the floor and lowering this leg down nice and slow again to the count of 20. Keeping that breath flowing, maybe even drawing your navel towards your spine. Engaging your core. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Letting your heel rest on the floor. We'll stretch that right leg out again. Arms coming back up and over, taking a nice full breath in. Letting out a sigh. Let's bring the knees in and wrap the arms around, and we'll just rock from side to side. And then maybe bringing your hands under your knees, we'll rock forward and back a few times, giving that spine a massage. And then coming all the way up, maybe crossing your legs, we'll come onto our hands and knees. Getting ourselves into a lovely table position. Fingers are wide, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Let's do some cat-cows here. Exhale as you round into a black cat, and inhale as you come into your sway back cow. Back and forth with your breath. Beautiful. Let's come back into a neutral spine. We'll curl the toes under, coming into a downward facing dog. Lifting your hips up towards the ceiling, maybe pumping one heel at a time. And then maybe bringing both heels down towards the floor. Get your hips up a little bit higher, head in between your arms, pulling your belly button towards your spine. Nice upside down V here. And then we'll take a nice slow, leisurely walk up towards your fingers, folding over your hips, maybe bending your knees, coming into a ragdoll. We'll grab hold of the elbows and just swaying from side to side. And then coming back to center, let's uncross those arms. See if you can straighten up your legs a little bit more. Bringing your head down towards the floor. Breathing in, and as you exhale, just letting go a little bit deeper. And then we'll bend the knees nice and generous and slowly roll ourselves up, keeping your chin tucked until you're feeling nice and stable. Shoulders roll down and back. Coming into mountain pose, stacking everything up nice and tall. Feeling both feet fully supported. And we'll inhale, reach up towards the ceiling, palms come together, and just bringing them to your heart as you exhale. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale back to your heart. Once more, reaching up and back down. This time, let's hinge at the hips, coming all the way back down over those hips. Fingers towards the floor. And then we'll take that right leg and stretch it back. We'll bring it the knee to the mat, sinking into our low lunge here. Noticing how this feels for your knee and your leg. You want that left ankle underneath your left knee. Knee in your armpit, maybe looking up towards your ceiling so you can feel a nice stretch along that right leg. Breathing here. And let's bring our hands to our left knee, sinking in a little bit deeper. If you're feeling up for it today, you can reach your arms all the way up to the ceiling, looking up in between your hands. Beautiful. Let's bring the hands back down to the mat. Curl your back toe. Let's lift that knee back up, coming into our high lunge. So sinking in, getting that right leg nice and comfortable, nice big stretch. Maybe bringing your hands onto your left leg, so finding some balance here. And if you're feeling strong, you can reach those arms up towards the ceiling. Breathing here. And then we'll bring the hands all the way back down to the floor. Let's rotate that back foot so it's parallel to the back of the mat. We're going to push into that left knee. Reach the right arm up and over, coming into warrior two. So both arms are outstretched, sinking into that front knee, making sure that you're right in the center of your arms. Beautiful warrior two, shoulders relaxing, standing in your power. Feeling those legs nice and strong. And then we'll take the right hand to the thigh, left hand up and over. Breathing into the front of your ribs. And then folding forward. Let's bring that right elbow to the knee, left elbow to the knee, right arm up and over. And we'll just move back and forth. So on your exhale, let's take it back into that humble warrior. Breathing in and then exhale, folding forward. Breathing here and exhale, going back. And exhale, coming forward. And coming back into warrior two again, settling here. Let's straighten that front leg. We're going to come into triangle pose. So reach that left arm forward and then bring it down. We'll bring that elbow to knee, right arm up, maybe looking up towards that right hand. Breathing here. Beautiful. Let's let that right hand come down to the mat. We'll rotate the back heel and then bring that back foot forward. Folding back over your hips. Maybe noticing you're a little bit deeper into this forward fold. And then bend your knees and we'll roll back up to stand. Coming all the way back into our mountain pose. Standing up nice and tall. Let's inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, folding back down. Coming into our low lunge on the left side. So left leg back, knee down to the mat, sinking into your hips. Getting that right ankle underneath your right knee in your armpit, and maybe looking up towards the ceiling. Then we'll bring both hands onto the right knee. See how this feels. If you're feeling nice and stable, you can reach the arms up to the ceiling. Breathing in that fresh energy all the way down to your belly. And then letting your hands float back down to the floor. Curling your back toe will lift that left knee up, coming into our high lunge. See how this side feels. Maybe bringing your hands onto that right knee, so really gripping the mat as if you're ripping it apart. And then reaching the arms up, feeling those legs nice and solid. Taking a breath or two here. Beautiful. We'll bring the hands back down to the floor. And then rotating that back foot so your foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Heels are lined up. We'll push into the right leg, reach the left arm up and over, coming into warrior two on this side. So sinking in, shoulders relaxing, arms parallel to the ground. And then we'll reverse it, bringing the left hand down, right arm up and over. Taking a few breaths here, breathing into that rib cage. And then folding forward, left arm reaching out, creating some space on the left side. And then we'll just flow on our exhale, moving back into that humble warrior. And exhale, folding forward. Growing long with each inhale as you move back and forth. And then we'll come back into warrior two. Settling here. Straightening out the front leg. Let's reach that right arm forward, coming all the way into our triangle pose. Getting the left arm up if you can, either looking to the floor or up towards the ceiling. Breathing here. And then bringing your hand back down to the mat. We'll rotate that back foot. Let's take the right foot back to meet the left, coming into a little plank pose. Feeling nice and strong here, wrists underneath shoulders, heels pushing back, creating a nice long line. And then you can lower yourself from here by bringing your knees down, or you can come all the way down, elbows tight to your body, lowering down and taking a rest with your hands underneath your forehead. Breathing all the way into your belly. Feeling your heart beating. Feeling that fire within. And then we'll bring our elbows underneath the shoulders, coming into a little Sphinx pose if that works for your back today. extending that chin forward, shoulders relaxing away from your ears. Maybe looking over to the right and then back to center and over to the left and back again. And then we'll lower ourselves down. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. We're going to bring ourselves into a child's pose. So sending those hips back. You can take your knees a little further apart and just letting your head rest either on the mat or on your stacked fists. I'm taking 4 breaths here, just settling. And then we'll come back up and swing your legs around, bringing them out in front, sitting up nice and tall, coming into staff pose. Shoulders are over your hips, ears are over your shoulders, hands on your thighs, and just close your eyes. I always find it interesting how much tension I'm holding in my legs. So just reminding your legs to relax here. We'll do a little flow. So we're going to inhale, reach the arms all the way up to the ceiling, and then exhale, folding over towards your toes, and then reaching back up, getting nice and long, and exhale, fold. Moving with your breath, nice and fluid. And on your next forward fold, just letting your hands rest wherever they end up. Letting your head relax. Taking 3 breaths here. And then slowly coming back up. Let's bring the right leg up and crossing it over today. Coming into our twist, we'll bring the left arm around, right arm behind. Sitting up nice and tall as you twist from the shoulders, looking over that right shoulder. Breathing down into your belly. And then slowly unwind. We'll send that right leg out. We'll do the other side, bringing the left leg in, crossing it over. Right arm around, left arm behind. Nice long spine, just opening up at the shoulders. And then coming back to the front. And we'll bring our feet together, maybe warming up the toes, giving your feet a little massage. Sending some love down into your foundation. Keeps you standing upright, balanced. These feet do so much for us. And then we'll wrap our hands around the toes, bringing your nose down towards them. Breathing all the way up the back body. As you exhale, sinking a little bit deeper. And then slowly coming back up, we'll bring the knees up, taking your feet nice and wide. And hands behind you, we'll just let the knees go over to the left and then back to center and over to the right. Back to center. Let's go back and forth one more time. Noticing how that feels for your hips. Beautiful. And then we'll ease our way all the way back down onto the mat. Bringing your right knee into your chest. Let's send the left leg out. And we'll just point and flex our feet here. And then bringing the left knee in and right leg out. Maybe rotating your ankles this time. And then bringing both knees in towards your chest, we'll send our hands behind our head. Elbows extending outwards. We'll come into a little core work, sending your left leg out, left elbow comes across, and then switching sides. Making sure that your breath is still flowing freely as you move back and forth, engaging your core. And we'll do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's let the head rest down. Bring the knees in for a hug. And just rocking from side to side. And then bringing your hands down by your sides, we're going to set ourselves up so that our shins are parallel to the floor. So it's as if you've fallen over on a chair. So coming into this shape, we're going to flex our feet. And then we're going to send those heels along a parallel line and then bring them back in. So engaging your core here, keeping that breath flowing, moving back and forth. And we'll do 3 more like this. And on your last one, just bringing the knees all the way in and hugging them. Maybe bringing your nose up towards your knees. And then we'll stretch all the way out, sending your legs out, arms up and overhead. Nice full belly breath. Letting it go. And then bending your knees again. Arms by your side. We'll take the right toes to the ceiling, pointing them. And let's start with some spirals on the ceiling. Now, if you want to keep engaging your core here, you can always bring your arms up and overhead. Just uses a little more muscles as you bring that leg into a bigger circle, keeping your breath flowing. And then you can take it in the other direction, getting smaller and smaller. And then letting your right ankle rest on your left knee. You can take your arms, if they're overhead, and gently ease that knee away from your body. Maybe even taking your hands and threading them through, bringing that left knee in towards your chest. Breathing into any tightness or tension you might be feeling in your hips. And allowing your breath to ease away that tension. And if your hands are behind your knee, let's bring that foot back down to the floor. We'll uncross and bring the right foot back down. And let's take the left toes to the ceiling. You can bring your arms overhead if you'd like, and we'll spiral this left foot, making circles and getting bigger and bigger. Your arms are overhead, really engaging your core here. We have a nice big circle, taking it in the other direction, getting smaller and smaller. And when you have a dot, let's rest the left ankle on the right knee and just gently pushing that left knee away. Maybe you can bring your right knee towards your chest on this side. So just wherever you're at today, honoring that. Sending some loving breaths into those tight spots. And then we'll release the feet back down to the mat. Let's send the arms out into a T or cactus shape. And we'll lift the hips, sending them a little bit over to the left so that you can bring your knees down and your spine is still straight on the mat. We'll take our head over to the left, twisting it out here, letting your shoulders remain supported on the floor, making any adjustments so that it feels right for you. Breathing all the way down the length of your spine. And letting go. And then bringing your head and your knees back to center, bringing your arms down by your sides and setting your heels up underneath your knees. We're going to come into a supported bridge pose, so making sure your neck has enough room as you push into the heels, lifting those hips. Taking a few moments, keeping those hips up there, knees parallel to the hips. Feel the weight in your heels. And then we'll send the arms up and overhead, breathing here. And then as you exhale, let's lower the hips and the arms back down to the floor. As you inhale, we'll lift the hips and the arms up overhead. Exhale, slowly lowering down. And once more, let's lift the hips and arms. And exhale, lowering. Letting yourself rest here. Taking a couple breaths. And then stretching your arms back out. We'll lift the hips and send them a little bit over to the right so that the knees can float down to the left. Looking over towards your left or right hand. Breathing here and just releasing and letting go. And we'll bring the head and the knees back to center, getting your spine nice and long, and letting your legs stretch out, taking up nice big space on your mat, coming into corpse pose, palms facing up. Taking a nice full breath in and letting out a sigh. Closing your eyes. Going inside and checking in to see how your body is feeling in this moment. Allowing all of those wonderful postures to be integrated. Feeling the beautiful support of the floor beneath you. And today's meditative poem is called Allow. There is no controlling life. Try corralling a lightning bolt or containing a tornado. Dam a stream and it will create a new channel. Resist and the tide will sweep you off your feet. Allow and grace will carry you to higher ground. The only safety lies in letting it all in. The wild with the weak, fear, fantasies, failures, and success. When loss rips off the doors of the heart or sadness veils your vision with despair, practice becomes simply bearing the truth. In the choice to let go of your known way of being, the whole world is revealed to you with new eyes. So just gently and easily making your way back up to a seated position. Sitting up nice and tall. Bring our hands together at our heart center and do a collective breath in and out. Taking a nice breath in through your nose And out through your mouth. Beautiful. May you all have a wonderful day and allow what happens to happen. Namaste.